In the forest next to the military academy, the body of a cadet is found hanging from a tree. Whether it was murder or a mysterious death, the investigation revealed the heart was missing from the body. Soon, the heartless carcasses of animals began to appear one after another. Consequently, a detective was called in to solve the mystery. Now the question is this black magic or something else? With a story full of suspense and high-level twists, today's movie is The Pale Blue Eye. It is the year 1830, on a mysterious night in the Hudson Valley. The body of American Military Academy cadet Leroy Fry is recovered hanging from a tree in the forest. Such an incident is deeply disgraceful for the Academy. Therefore, before the news spreads, the Academy's second-in-command, Captain Hitchcock, follows Superintendent Thayer's orders. He sends for the famous detective Augustus Landor. Although Augustus has solved many difficult mysteries, his personal life is far from pleasant. 3 years ago, his wife passed away, and his only daughter, Maddie, ran away from home just a few days ago. Thayer clarifies that Augustus wasn't called to find the reason behind Fry's death, because the Academy does not interfere in the personal lives of its cadets. The real concern is the autopsy, which revealed Fry's heart was missing from his body. And this is exactly why Augustus was summoned. Usually, such acts are the work of serial killers. So, this killer must be stopped before fear consumes the Academy. Augustus agrees to the proposal and meets with the doctor and mortician, Marquis. According to him, this is not the work of an ordinary killer, because cutting open a chest and removing a heart intact is no easy task. It is impossible for a common killer to possess such specialized knowledge. Augustus then visits the crime scene. Last night, Mr. Hanton was on guard duty in the nearby barracks. Hearing some noise, he thought it was a wild animal, and upon getting closer, he was the first to see the body. However, according to him, Fry's feet were touching the ground. So, how did this happen? Suspicious of this, Augustus checks Fry's body again. He finds a 3-inch deep wound at the back of the head and recovers a torn piece of paper from the grip of the right hand. It becomes clear that Fry was murdered. Based on this evidence, before starting the investigation, Captain Hitchcock asks Augustus to follow certain rules. For instance, during the investigation, no news can be shared with anyone except Hitchcock and Thayer. He agrees to this proposal. When Augustus arrives at the scene privately, Academy Cadet Edgar Allan Poe approaches him. He informs Augustus that the person he is looking for is a poet. Augustus then questions Cadet Cochran and learns that on the night the body was brought in, an officer on duty relieved him. In the thick darkness, Cochran couldn't see the officer's face by the lantern light, but the nameplate on the left shoulder of his uniform was missing. However, receiving such an offer on a freezing night, Cochran didn't push the matter further. Augustus has a bad habit of drinking. Therefore, he frequently visits the nearby tavern. Here, Augustus has a close relationship with a woman named Patsy. He shares all his inner thoughts with Patsy. At this tavern, Augustus is surprised to see Alan. Apparently, he had been waiting for Augustus for several hours. Alan introduces himself and says he prefers to be alone. However, he is a bookworm for poetry and stories, so he prefers to speak in rhymes most of the time. Landor learns from him that Hanton has spread the news of Fry's death like wildfire. Therefore, everyone is in a state of terror. Alan suggests that he interrogate Cadet Loughborough, because although he was previously Fry's roommate, they became enemies after a fight. The next day, Augustus interrogates Loughborough and learns that recently, Fry had befriended a bad crowd. Because of them, his ideas and perspectives had changed. This group could be composed of cadets or someone from outside the academy. Just then, news arrives that the mutilated bodies of a cow and a sheep have been found in Cold Spring. Their hearts were also missing. After this incident, Augustus's suspicion falls slightly on the academy as well. Seeing the complexity of the case, Augustus asks Alan to be his secret assistant to learn the academy's inner secrets. Alan agrees. Since Alan is a bookworm, Landor gives him the piece of paper found in Fry's hand. He wants Alan to figure out what is written on it. After studying it, Alan comes to Augustus's house at night and says the paper contained an invitation to meet, which could be a deadly trap. Alan reconstructs the approximate full text based on the fragments, which reads, "I will be at the cove by the landing. Meet me there. Don't be late. Come see me." However, the point is, a cadet would likely not ask to meet at the landing unless that person was a woman. Hearing this, Alan says that on the morning of Fry's death, he noticed an unknown beautiful woman crying, whom he had never seen before. A day later, Augustus writes a secret note and tells Alan to meet him at the ice house, because that is where the animal bodies were found that day. Augustus finds items used in black magic rituals in a secret basement there. He guesses that this is perhaps where Fry's heart was brought. To seek help, Augustus meets his friend, Professor Jean Pepe. Jean has profound knowledge of the occult and sorcery. Augustus shows him the ritual items found in the ice house. Jean speaks of a witch hunter named Henri Leclerc, who had hunted over 700 witches and written 2 rare books called Discours du Diable. Some rituals from that book match the black magic items found in the ice house. Jean possesses a copy of one of the books, but in the other book, Leclerc had written the secret to attaining immortality. By reading the book, Alan learns that for immortality, 2 unbaptized animal infants and the heart of a hanged man are required. In other words, the person they are looking for possesses the second copy of Henri Leclerc's book. This incident turns the mystery in a new direction. Augustus asks Alan to identify cadets interested in black magic within the academy. When Alan raises the topic among the cadets, the name of the doctor's son, Artemis, comes up. So, for further investigation, Alan takes a medical leave. When Alan spontaneously arrives at Augustus's house, his eyes land on the bookshelf. Seeing a book of Byron, the favorite poet of Augustus's daughter, the topic of Maddie comes up. Alan's mother died 20 years ago. Therefore, Augustus's loneliness feels very relatable to him. Later, Alan increases his interaction with Artemis and his group. During drinking and chatting sessions, the name of Artemis's sister, Leah, comes up, because she had allegedly betrayed Fry. Just 1 day later was Fry's funeral. To assist in the investigation, Fry's mother gives Augustus one of her son's diaries. This had been sent to her by her son's friend, Mr. Ballinger. Meanwhile, as Alan's intimacy with Artemis grows, he is invited to their house in the evening. Alan listens enchantedly to Leah playing the piano with great skill. During the introductions, Alan praises her with a few lines of poetry. This catches Leah's attention because she is also a lover of poetry. Then Alan seizes the opportunity and leaves after proposing a meeting on Saturday. Leah had finally found someone after her own heart. So, although she came to the first meeting to propose love, she suddenly falls ill. She begins to struggle like an epileptic patient. However, she regains consciousness shortly after and composes herself. But that night, Alan is suddenly attacked. Augustus arrives just in time to save his life and sees that the attacker is Ballinger. He loves Leah, so seeing Alan getting close to her, he attacked out of vengeance. After the events of this night, the orphaned Alan develops a deep respect for Augustus. Out of emotion, he says, "Augustus, one day I will write a beautiful poem for you, which will carry the glory of your name through history." Meanwhile, the next day, news arrives that Ballinger is missing. The academy searches the entire area and recovers his hanging body from the mountain. His body looks as if someone has hacked at it. The autopsy report states that Ballinger's heart is missing, but this time the incisions suggest it is the work of someone else, because every previous heart had been removed with very precise hands, which is different from this time. Not only that, Ballinger's body has been brutally mutilated. Thayer becomes angry with Augustus after this incident, because even after a month, they are still in the dark regarding the killer. While arguing over this, Landor suspects Hitchcock. Augustus learns that a few months before Fry's death, he had a fight with Alan, which Alan had hidden from Augustus. When confronted, Alan admits to hiding it, but he also says that he is not involved in the murder. Believing Alan, Augustus takes him to a dinner at Dr. Marquis' house this evening. By now, Artemis had realized that Alan was a spy for Landor. He used to rummage through Alan's things and give all information to Augustus. So, after Artemis makes a biting comment about it, Marquis's wife, Julia, leaves the table in anger. The dinner is ruined for everyone. To handle the situation, Marquis brings Augustus to his study. Augustus had noticed that Leah was unwell. So, when he asks Marquis about his daughter, he admits she has been ill since childhood. Even after years of effort, the disease hasn't been identified. Therefore, no one wants to marry her. While Alan is playing the piano with Leah, Augustus secretly searches Marquis's room. His eyes catch a massive portrait of Marquis's ancestor on the wall. A strange book and an old officer's jacket without a nameplate are also found. Seeing this, Augustus remembers Cadet Cochrane, who said that on the night Fry's body was brought in, someone came wearing an officer's uniform, whose face could not be seen in the dark. Meanwhile, Julia arrives, forcing Augustus to stop the search. When Augustus asks Marquis about the uniform, he learns it belonged to Marquis's deceased brother. Right then, Hitchcock arrives with another piece of bad news. Cadet Stoddard is missing. There are no clothes in Stoddard's room. According to Fry's diary, Stoddard and Ballinger were Fry's friends. So, fearing that he is the next target, he has fled. Consequently, all of Thayer's suspicion falls on Artemis. That evening, Augustus meets Pepe. He is surprised to learn more about Discourse du Diable written by the witch hunter Henri. That Henri was actually a priest who hunted witches initially but later became a worshipper of the devil. Because of this, the church burned him to death. Just then, Landor is deeply shocked upon seeing a picture of Henri. Then, without wasting any more time, he arrives directly at Marquis's house. Augustus confronts him about Leah. He says that your daughter Leah has been using black magic for a long time to escape a terminal illness, which your ancestor, the witch hunter Henri, once did, whose portrait is hanging on the wall of this room. Not only that, the evidence of this hideous truth is Henry's book, Discourse du Diable, kept in the study. Now, with this incident, the real mystery is revealed. After all of Augustus's evidence, Marquis admits that Lee's terminal illness couldn't be cured. The doctor said she had only 3 months to live. Meanwhile, the book Discourse du Diable came into their hands. In a final hope of living, Leah takes the help of black magic. And with time, she begins to recover. Marquis didn't stop his daughter after seeing her improvement, because none of his own medicines were working on his daughter. In other words, behind all the murders and missing hearts was Leah. It started with that note Leah sent to Fry, and the officer Cochrane saw in the dark was none other than Dr. Marquis. Suddenly, Augustus notices that the other family members are not at home. He understands that Leah, Artemis, and Julia have taken Alan to the ice house for the final ritual. Actually, Leah had played a drama of false love with him all this time, just to use him for the ritual. By then, they are seen tying Alan within a ritual circle. Although Alan is slightly conscious, he has lost all strength. The reason is the drink Leah gave him during a conversation. Leah is about to perform the ritual to take Alan's heart. But right then, Augustus arrives and saves Alan. In the middle of the struggle, a fire breaks out, and Leah and Artemis die. Despite the betrayal, Alan rushes to save Leah, but she cannot be saved. After solving the mystery, Augustus meets Hitchcock the next day. The whole academy will never forget his help, and Alan is now out of danger. Meanwhile, Dr. Marquis has resigned from his post. Finally, after Thayer thanks Augustus with a smile, Landor returns home. After this, a few more days pass. One day, Alan arrives. Staring at him blankly, he says, "Augustus, I know about your daughter." And with this incident, the biggest mystery is revealed. Alan had noticed a strange similarity between the note found in Fry's hand and the note Augustus gave him. Every style of capital and small letters was exactly the same. And this realization is eating away at Alan. He cannot believe Augustus is involved in this. Following this lead, Alan learns from Patsy about the tragedy of Augustus's daughter, Maddie. The incident occurred 2 years ago. While returning home at night from an academy program, 3 cadets brutally assaulted Maddie. Naturally, Maddie could never recover from this mental trauma. She endured neglect and humiliation day after day. As evidence of that horrific night, she had a cadet's locket in her hand. Maddie always prayed for the punishment of the guilty. But day after day, the events of that night were slowly destroying her from within. Finally, unable to bear the pain, Maddie jumped from a cliff in front of Augustus and died. Her last words were, "Dad, don't worry, everything will be fine." Then, helpless Augustus, consumed by revenge, conducted a secret investigation and learned about the locket, which belonged to Cadet Fry. Fry was always weak toward women, so Augustus wrote him a beautiful letter in Patsy's name and called him out at night. Augustus murdered him by putting a noose around his neck. But before he could hide the body, the cadet Hanton arrived. So Augustus couldn't hide Fry's body. And strangely, when Fry's heart went missing that night, Augustus was called back to the academy for the investigation. As the story proceeded, on the day of the funeral, Augustus decoded Fry's diary. He learned the name of the second person involved, which was Ballinger. So he trapped Ballinger the same way, tortured him, and learned the name of the third person, which was Stoddard. Because of this, Stoddard sensed the danger and fled. But here, Augustus used his brain, and after killing Ballinger, he removed the heart himself. So the entire blame fell on Leah, because of which, after seeing Ballinger's chest, Dr. Marquis said the incisions were different from the previous ones. Along with this, the remaining task was to kill 2 animals. The blame for everything fell on Leah and her family since they practiced black magic. But what will happen now? Because Alan knows everything. Of course, Augustus has nothing to hide here. Without any hesitation, he confesses his guilt and asks Alan to make the final decision. But Alan has already lost Leah, and the man he trusted so much fooled him today. Alan says nothing. He burns all the evidence against Augustus in the candle flame before him. He leaves after giving a final farewell with a bowed head. Seeing the papers burning, Augustus remembers his daughter's pain and the moments of breaking Alan's trust, as if the final flame of this fire is telling him, "Your life is also coming to an end, Augustus." Augustus then comes directly to the cliff from which Maddie had jumped. With a peaceful mind, he lets his daughter's favorite ribbon fly away in the strong wind. After giving her a final farewell, Augustus vanishes forever. So this was today's story, The Pale Blue Eye. If you liked the video, give it a like. And if you have any opinions regarding my work, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to mention which movie story you want to see next.